Joy News exclusively caught up with Chief of Staff of Niger's deposed President Mohammed Bazoum, who is still in denial that the military has toppled their government. Chief Dauoda says the Presidential Guard, which seized power in the French West Country at the end of last month, lacks recognition in the international community. A group of military chiefs from West Africa are wrapping up a strategic meeting organized by sub-regional body Ecowas here in Accra to fashion out modalities on the deployment of troops to restore constitutional order in Niger. Speaking exclusively to Joy News, Blessed Suka last night, the beleaguered Chief of Staff says Mohammed Bazoum is in good spirits, knowing that he is the legitimate president of Niger.
I don't need to ask you how you're doing, because obviously things are not too well for you and the Nigerian public. But let's start off with how you made it into Ghana. What was your story? How did you leave Niger? Even when the coup happened, when you were in that country, how did you run for your life and to make it right into the Republic of Ghana?
Thank you for everything. But before answering your question, I want to correct something.
Right.
I'm not the former Chief of Staff. I'm the Chief of Staff of the President of the Republic of Niger.
You don't accept that you've been deposed?
Mohammed Bazoum, who is still the elected President of Niger, then is not the former President. He is the President of the Republic of Niger, the elected one. This attempt to depose him is still ongoing, and it will finish in
So you don't even accept that you've been deposed?
No. Bazoum
so?
is still the President of the Republic of Niger, recognized by all the countries in the world, except of course Mali and Burkina Faso, that are in the same situation.
But you can't go back home now because your president is no more. There's a new prime minister, there's a new cabinet.
Il n'y a pas de premier ministre, il n'y a pas de nouveau cabinet, tout ça est nul et de nul effet. Le président Mohammed Bazoum est le président de la République du Niger et le seul président de la République du Niger reconnu par tous.
So basically what he's trying to say, and for those of you who may not understand, is that they do not accept being the former Chief of Staff. He does not, first of all, accept that there's a new cabinet. He does not accept that there's a new president. He does not accept that there's a new leader of the Nigerian people. All he accepts right now is the fact that there is only one president in the Republic of Niger, and that is President Mohammed Bazoum, who was democratically elected. Now, I'm going to ask you about President Mohammed Bazoum, because I need to ask you how he's doing right now, how he's faring. After the coup d'etat happened, you were there trying to fight back. It didn't work, so you left, but he's being detained now. How is he feeling now as we speak?
Le président de la République va très bien. Il a le moral très haut et il est prêt à se battre pour la démocratie, pour la liberté, pour la justice au Niger. Donc le président de la République va très bien, il a le moral très très haut. Certes, les conditions de vie sont déplorables parce que depuis l'événement du 26 juillet, la junte a mis tout en œuvre pour le démoraliser, pour le faire ramener à un état réduit, mais c'est sans compter sur sa force morale. Donc le président de la République va très bien.
Okay, so basically he's making the point that when you talk about President Mohammed Bazoum, he's in high spirit, good spirit. In fact, morally, his morale is high. He's not down or, dampened. His spirit is not dampened by the fact that there's a new military junta that is controlling the country, except to say that he's been detained. And naturally, when you're detained, your rights are restricted. You do not have the right to move. You do not have the right to make certain natural, adjustments which he would have done when he was head of state. So that is the only confinement in which he finds himself, except to say that he still believes that he's the president of the republic and is in good spirit. I guess that's the point, the import of the point you're making. Now, you're saying that he's in good health. If he's in good health and is in a high morale, he's been deposed by the military junta, and we've seen the military junta receiving a lot of support. I don't know if it's just my impression, but they seem to be receiving a lot of support. You take a look at when the coup happened, they staged a rally at a stadium. And in that stadium, lots of people filling up the stadium to capacity. It does suggest that there's just something right with this coup d'etat and the military regime that is controlling. People appear to be supporting them. Is that not the case?
Sur ça, ce que je veux vous dire, d'abord, sachez que dans des situations comme ça, c'est toujours le populisme qui prend le dessus sur tout ce qui est rationnel. Alors, donc, la junte nigérienne n'a pas fait exception. Quand il y a eu le coup d'État, la vraie manifestation s'est tenue le premier jour du coup d'État. Il y avait eu une manifestation spontanée. Moi, j'étais dans la manifestation, j'avais conduit cette manifestation. C'était des milliers et des milliers de Nigériens qui étaient sortis pour dire non au coup d'État. Ils ont tiré à balles réelles sur les gens. 4 personnes étaient sévèrement blessées. C'est ce qui a démotivé les gens ce jour-là. Après, eux-mêmes, pour se donner bonne conscience, ils ont organisé un simulacre de manifestation où ils ont pris toutes les nouvelles recrues des militaires, les nouvellement recrues, et leurs familles qu'ils ont habillées en t-shirt. Certains d'ailleurs n'ont pas eu le temps de se déshabiller, d'enlever leur habit militaire pour mettre leur habit civil quand ils sont venus à la manifestation. Et si vous regardez, quand ils ont attaqué l'ambassade de France, celui qui a été blessé au pied, que vous voyez dans les manifestations qu'on avait prises, c'est un colonel-major de l'armée. Donc, les manifestants ne sont pas des gens, des civils qui sont contents, la plupart qui sont contents du régime militaire.
Why are you arguing so? Why so?
Parce que c'est ce que je veux de vous dire. La plupart des manifestants, quand vous regardez même à la télévision, ils ont encore le treillis militaire, le t-shirt militaire. Et celui qui a été blessé à l'ambassade de France le jour où ils ont fait la grande manifestation, parce que la riposte a fait que les gens étaient obligés de tirer des gaz lacrymogènes sur eux. Il y a un qui était blessé au pied, c'était un colonel-major de l'armée. Donc ça veut dire que la plupart des manifestants, ce sont des éléments, les nouvelles recrues de l'armée qu'ils ont fait sortir. Ça c'est un premier point. Le deuxième point, sachez que le Niger compte 8 régions. Parmi les 8 régions, c'est uniquement Niamey où il y a eu des manifestants. Dans toutes les capitales, c'est l'opposition qui est forte en Afrique. Principalement au Niger, l'opposition est très forte à Niamey. Donc ils ont fait sortir les militants de l'opposition. Le parti politique de l'opposition du leader Hama Amadou qui est à Paris actuellement, il a écrit une lettre pour demander à ces gens de sortir pour soutenir la manifestation. Donc voilà la manifestation de Niamey. Mais quand vous regardez les médias, quand vous regardez les télévisions, vous voyez que dans tous les pays, dans toutes les autres régions, nos gens ont manifesté, y compris à Niamey, où ils ont été tirés à balles réelles.
So basically the point the former chief of staff is making is that we should disregard what is happening on the televisions as we see it, and also making the point that what we have is that the military is just inviting people to create the impression as though they have legitimacy, but they do not have legitimacy based on what we're seeing on the screens, and that they are just bringing their cronies and bringing people who align with them to fill the stadium. So we shouldn't believe what we're seeing on the television.
Well, the head of the Foreign Affairs and Diplomatic Desk, Blessed Soga, joins me for more on this. Blessed, so we know today is the second day for the meeting of the Chiefs of Defense Staff from Ecowas. What do we know about today's meeting?
Well, Amisi, it's a pleasure to be talking to you. But first of all, I must point out that we are stationed right in front of the embassy of the Republic of Niger. And why we're here is because we're picking information that some Nigerian citizens may be picketing the embassy in a few minutes from now. It's the reason for which you're seeing the police vehicles which are stationed right in front of the mission or the foreign embassy of the People's Republic of Niger, the Republic of Niger, I should say. But just to give you a background to that meeting that transpired yesterday that we saw amongst the army chiefs, what we witnessed yesterday actually was the day one of a committee meeting And this committee meeting is simply a meeting amongst the military chiefs drawn from West African countries. Now, these military chiefs are basically doing a meeting as part of efforts to reactivate or activate what the sub-regional body ECOWAS is calling as a standby force. Now, they are calling it a standby force because any moment from now, the regional body, through the leadership of President Akufo-Addo, President Bola Tinubu, and the other West African leaders, they have resolved to deploy military troops into the Republic of Niger to restore constitutional order. That's because ECOWAS is arguing that after the democratically elected President Mohammed Bazoum was ousted, the military junta in Niger is unwilling to negotiate and to return the country to constitutional pathways. So that's the reason for which the military chiefs are meeting, and today happens to be day 2, where we'll be bringing you some live updates when that meeting wraps up somewhere around 2 p.m. today. So we're waiting for the final communique from this. Security experts will be briefing us on the technicalities of the deployment and what the military will be doing once the green light is given. So we'll get a sense of that at Burma camp, which is serving as the base for that meeting of the military chiefs. But what you see now is police presence at the Nigerian embassy. And I must point out at this moment that in a few minutes from now, we will see citizens of Niger who are resident in Accra. They will be coming right here to the embassy right behind me to make a strong statement, as they are indicating to us, to the Nigerian junta. The point is that they do not agree with the military intervention, or coup d'etat if you want to call it, within their own country. We're uncertain about what their opinion will be on the decision by the sub-regional body ECOWAS to deploy military troops. But what we know, speaking to Dauoda last night, is that they support the intervention because they believe that the intervention is simply necessary to restore constitutional order. It's unclear if the citizens who are resident in Ghana will also go with that approach by the sub-regional body ECOWAS. But for now, the Ghana Police Service with its men are stationed here, trying to keep law and order and to ensure that the picketing that we are likely to see in the next few minutes will not be chaotic, but would rather be a peaceful message that will be sent across, all in a view to tramp home that message that they first of all want constitutional order in their country, and also that the military team in Niger ought to release the deposed President Mohammed Bazoum. That's the message they'll be sending across. And we can just pan over and give you a sense of some of them arriving right here in Accra, where we have some of them filing through and coming together just to make that statement that they would want to make to their military regime and military team in Niger. The message is simple. They want the democratically elected President Mohammed Bazoum reinstated, and right afterwards they are also asking for a return to constitutional rule. So a bit of a chit-chat amongst some of the citizens who have started arriving here. We'll be giving you some updates as and when their activities start. And also we'll also be updating you on that meeting which is happening concurrently amongst the security chiefs of the various West African countries. Now, yesterday when we interacted with ECOWAS, the indication we're getting is that all is set, except to say the meeting happening at Burma camp is simply a meeting of dedication, a meeting that is set to explain and also to get feedback and affirmation or endorsement from all the military chiefs from the West Africa sub-region, who would be making their statement on the technicalities, how to approach the deployment, and some of the issues to be on the lookout for as the deployment takes off. We also do know that after today's meeting, there'll be a clear roadmap for the military from West African countries, who first of all have to contribute troops. Then there'll be, of course, the establishment of structures as to how this exercise will be carried out. And also we'll get to know which of the countries will be leading the command. These are the 3 key issues that we'll be learning after today's meeting. But right here at the Nigerian embassy, there's set to be drama, obviously, because the residents or citizens of Nigeria resident in Ghana will be amassing in their numbers in a few moments from now, just to register their displeasure at what's happening in the country. There is the issue about the capacity of the sub-region ECOWAS. Why is that key? Because there's criticism that the sub-region, knowing that it is facing issues of economic challenges, does not have the capacity, first of all, to go into Niger and to risk spending billions and billions of dollars. At our last count was $2.3 billion just to sustain a military trip in Niger. That question has come up. The sub-regional body says it is determined to simply use its own resources because it believes that constitutional order must come back to Niger. So we were speaking to Ambassador Fatal Abdel, who's the Commissioner in charge of Political Affairs, Peace and Security, who also pointed us to us that this is solely an ECOWAS exercise, and the fact that the sub-regional body does not need the express permission from, say, the United Nations or the African Union. This he has been reacting to because of the criticisms that have come up. Some sources pointing out to us that as we speak, the African Union is divided about the intervention and the decision by the ECOWAS body, because after their security committee meeting, the body was divided, with some of the sub-regional bodies disagreeing with ECOWAS on the decision to use the military. In fact, yesterday at the first meeting of the military chiefs, what transpired was that Cape Verde did not turn up. Cape Verde did not show up for the meeting because Cape Verde is making a strong case and mounting that case for what they are terming as the need for diplomacy and the need for a peaceful resolution of the crisis. It's the reason for which we did not see, Cape Verde attend. Mali, Burkina Faso have all declared their solidarity for the military regime in Niger, and that is beginning to complicate matters. But obviously, Niger would also not be part, and so we did not see, of course, the Nigerian officials or envoy attending that meeting. But in your shots now, you can see some of the residents or citizens of Niger already amassing and coming closer. And of course, the numbers will be growing by the day. And we see the police and security chiefs already trying to restore order as we speak. This is the Joy News channel. We're bringing this to you live, where the citizens of Niger are beginning to picket, if I may call it, in front of the Nigerian embassy here in Accra. It's a busy day as well, busy Friday, but the police...
And those are live excerpts from the Nigerian embassy here in Accra. You heard our Foreign Affairs desk president, who has been giving us updates on what's happening at Burma camp and also the Nigerian embassy, where some Nigerian residents are picketing there to ensure that the deployment that will be sent to Niger doesn't happen. But as and when we get updates on those developments, we'll be bringing it to you here on Joy News. But